Good evening, everyone. Michael Cobb for U.S. Senate. Back again. Sorry I've been off a few days, but my son got a pretty bad car accident. Sorry about the smoke. Shouldn't have been. No, I've been saying I'm very honest, and one of my things is I had a very bad habit of smoking. So it is what it is. Uh, Today we're going to talk about slavery back in the United States, and that is quite disturbing and disgusting to me. This hasn't happened since the Civil War, back in the 1800s. Just heard on the news this morning. Of course, you ain't gonna hear it on the mainstream news. Fox barely played anything about it because it's all being kept hidden and under the wraps. But young girls are being trafficked. These are illegal immigrants, but it doesn't matter. They're human beings. Shouldn't have been sent up to the border by their parents. Shouldn't have been gave to the cartels. But that's beside the point. But these are very young girls, ages 14, some younger, but not much older than that because they, of course, like them very young. But it was discovered that this sex trafficking, this slavery sex trafficking of these young girls that are migrants from the across the southern border are being ran from our border states all the way up into New York. Now, why is New York the final destination? Maybe that's because it's where a lot of these rich people live, who figure they can get away with this crap. Um, I think it's totally disgusting. Now, I don't know how much people know about history, but the Democrats were the main party behind slavery. They tried to keep it enforced. That's why when Lincoln got elected president, he started a new party, the Republican Party. But as I've been saying, and if you've watched my previous videos, I don't believe there's two parties anymore. I believe it's one. They're working in cahoots together. They're helping each other cover up their various misdeeds and inappropriate actions. Um, and I find it quite disgusting that these people that call themselves elites are no more than they're lower than whale shit on the bottom of the ocean. Excuse my language, but I can't think of a better way to put it. We've got through the young girl part. Now let's move over to the other illegal immigrants coming across the border. Um, I'm not sure, but it was either somewhere between 8 and 15 just in the past couple days got killed in car accidents because the Americans, mainly young kids on this side of the border, were trying to escape with these illegals in their vehicles. And all you seen was a line of bodies with sheets over top of them in the one accident. And another accident, it showed an illegal halfway out the windshield. I mean, enough is enough, folks. We're Americans. Everybody deserves the right to come to this country. Uh, I'm all for that, but you should have to come legally. That's why so many. I swore I wouldn't go this route because I'm basing my whole campaign on Americans. I'm an American for Americans. I don't give a shit what you look like. If you're an American, that's how I want you to vote for me because you know I'm going to stand up for you as an American. But the Spanish people are even sick of the illegal immigrants because most of them are criminals that are being released from the prisons and dumped into our system, and they're harassing the legal Hispanics that are here, and they're harassing their children, and they're tired of it. It's got to stop. And it just found out today they captured. He made it way up into Arizona, a Saudi Arabian who was definitely a terrorist with connections to terrorist networks. Now, what would happen if they hadn't have caught him? How many terror cells are already in this country because of the open borders? It has to stop. Let's get back. Okay, now we've covered the young girls. We've covered the deaths of the migrants and vehicles being transported by Americans because they're getting paid $3,000 to $5,000 a pop. Now let's move over to the young men. Now, of course, they're not being sold into sex slavery, but they are being used and sold as cheap labor. That also is slavery, because if they don't do it, they get deported. Now, how is the threat of deportation for not working for almost nothing and then having to turn over what little bit you do make to the people hiding you here not considered slavery? And what I don't understand is, like I said, I honestly believe DC is so corrupt that each party's protecting themselves and protecting each other. Because I haven't heard one Republican standing up in front of a camera, hollering and screaming to high heaven about what's going on down there. This is ridiculous. This is not America. Americans do not treat other people, no matter where they're from, like that. We believe in treating people with dignity. And what they're doing to these young boys, these young girls, these illegal immigrants who shouldn't be coming here illegally, don't get me wrong, but they do not deserve to die like that in car accidents. That's a very painful death. It makes me sick to my stomach. And that's why I'm begging you, please share my message. Get me into the U.S. Senate so I can fight for the American people. I can fight to close down our borders and keep these human beings, our fellow human beings, safe. If they want to come here, great. Do it legally. Go through the background checks. Everything legally. That's how this country's supposed to run. But DC figures they're above the law. That's like they've already got Nancy Pelosi having her husband buy stocks by insider trading information from stuff she found out in the Congress. How come she has not been prosecuted? And it's not just her. And I say Nancy Pelosi because she's the highest one in the House of Representatives right now. But it's Republicans doing the same thing. It's all of them. They're not standing up for the American people. They're not doing their job. I want to go in there and be the wrecking ball. I want to get the Congress back to the way it's supposed to be. Back when Supreme Court judges got 60, 80, 90 votes. It wasn't party lines. It was by their judicial record, not whether they were conservative or liberal. That has nothing to do with it. Our country is based on laws and a constitution, not how far left you are or how much of a nutcase you are. It's about law and order, and we've lost that in this country bad. It's got to be brought back, and it's not going to be brought back by the establishment that is there. You need a wrecking ball like me in there. So I need any and everybody to share my word, get my word out there. I need campaign contributions going to my GoFundMe page, Michael Cobb for U.S. Senate. I'm not going in there to represent Maryland. I'm going in there to represent the American people. I'm going in there to represent the human beings that are being mistreated coming across the southern border. These young girls that are being sold as sex slaves. These young men that are being forced to be slave labor. That's not supposed to be going on in this country. That was supposed to end at the Civil War. Here we are, 2021, and we have slavery back in the United States. The selling of young girls to millionaires and billionaires in New York. And that Maxine, whatever that woman was with at the Epstein before he killed himself. She released a whole bunch of names, and they were all part of the government, whether it was staffers, people in the CIA, mayors, governors, and both sides, Republican and Democrat. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. These people are just sick pedophiles. It's got to stop. Need to get my message out. You need to get me some endorsements and some backing and some money coming into my GoFundMe page. Once again, Michael Cobb for U.S. Senate on GoFundMe. You got to get me in the Senate, folks. I'm the wrecking ball. I'm the real American for the real American people. I'm for the United States. I'm for the United States being the most powerful country in the world again. And because we're even losing that. Anyhow, I'll say this all the time. If anybody can get my name out to Fox and Friends for an interview, Donald Trump 45, Donald Trump Jr., any of the big names, Joe Manchin. I would love for him to get a hold of my name and watch my videos. I'm not playing either side of the aisle. I'm playing for America. And that should be what is most important to all of you. I'm going to end my broadcast tonight. I'm sorry I missed a couple, but my son was in a real bad accident, and my son had to come first. He's only 20. So I have to work him through a bunch of stuff. At my age, at 20, I was more like 35, 40. Now at 20, you're more like 15, 16. That's only because of our piss poor education system now. Anyhow, good night. God bless. Thank you very much. Please get my name out there, folks. I'm the wrecking ball for the Congress. You got to get me in there. It's the only way change is going to happen. And like I said, I want to start a whole new party, the ANC, the American National Committee. And my party, and it will be my party, will not allow any politician to mention race, color, creed, religion, anything. It will be for Americans and Americans only. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.